Everyone, it's me, Jim, here with my brother Matt.
Hello.
And today I just wanted to talk about Halo 5, really for no particular reason, other than the fact that it's coming out soon. And after seeing all the trailers and gameplays, me and my brother have some strong opinions on it. Overall, to me, it really just doesn't feel like Halo anymore. I mean, like, with this iteration, it just feels like it's completely lost its soul. Matt, what really bugged you about the trailers?
To start off the conversation is the single player campaign trailer on YouTube. It's a very long trailer.
Okay. Is it the gameplay or the trailer?
It's legit campaign trailer.
Okay, all right. I'm not actually sure if I've seen that, but I know what the single player looks like.
Yeah. So basically, there's these Master Chief's former squad. It's like this super militaristic special forces squad, and they're trying to find the dead Master Chief.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, he's totally dead, guys.
Yeah.
I always just find that silly. I mean, like, oh my gosh, he's the main character. Of course, he's not dead. I mean, if they killed him, they'd make him mad. But that's a totally different thing. But yeah, going back to that, I don't think I actually saw that trailer, but I saw the single player gameplay, and I generally know what my brother is talking about because in that gameplay, the way the Spartans talk, they just sounded like they're straight out of Call of Duty Spec Ops. You know, they're like, "Oh no, Jackal on my 6. Oh, lead on my 9. I'm feeling frosty." I mean, literally, the lines felt like they were ripped completely from a Call of Duty game, you know? And I understand that they're a Spec Ops squad, and Spec Ops talk like that. It's not, beyond belief. But for me, it just makes the game have this gruff, military, generic military shooter feel to it. Where the other Halos kind of had a fantasy feel to it. I mean, when you didn't hear all this stuff all the time, you could kind of take in the world, And it just sort of felt like a different place. Where if you talk like that, the world just seems like modern, I mean, like, after watching that trailer, the Halo 5 could have taken place in Afghanistan, in like 2015. And when I play a Halo game, I don't want it to feel like that,
Yeah.
It just feels so generic, and I hated it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I also hated about it too was like some of the gameplay features. To be fair, I mean, you will never know how it feels until you play it, but I mean, they really focus on cinematics in the new game. I guess that really isn't gameplay, but there's a part where you press a button, it's really like, like it feels like it's like a really big deal when you press a button and then it looks like I can't remember if it was a Forerunner Elite, but he grabs you by the head, he says all this bullshit and stuff, And to me, it just hates that, It just feels like they're interrupting gameplay to make it feel like you're in a movie, It's like, oh man, he's grabbing you, he's talking to you and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's so unnecessary. And I mean, it's been overused in so many games,
Yeah.
And to see it be used in a Halo game, which really has never done that before, Once again, comparisons to Call of Duty, it just feels like yeah, it's Call of Duty now, and I just don't like it.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
This streamline campaign
Yeah, exactly.
nonsense.
Yeah,
is poisoning Halo.
I like it how you said that. Yeah, the great. My brother puts in a way. It just really makes it feel like it's a very linear experience. Like I'm not really playing the game how I want to do it. I'm just going from A to B. You know, and when you have all the scripted stuff, it just makes the game feel a lot special. It's like, it's not like your own personal experience. Another thing, like what made the other Halos so great is that they didn't rely on cinematics and stuff, or like over-the-top animations. Like all the stuff you did, like, when you killed like Tartarus in 2, you used all the standard stuff you used, mechanics you had in the game. Like you hit him in the back with the energy sword, you shot him. Like in Halo 3 in particular, like when you take down the Scarab, you don't get a cutscene like press X to take down the Scarab. No, you literally jump on the Scarab. I'm not going to lie, it's a little clunky, but it feels great because once you land the jump on the Scarab, you run to the Scarab, you fight all the guys on the Scarab, and then you run and you smash the core, and then you jump off, There's no cutscene there to make it look cooler and stuff. Because let's be honest, in the old Halos, you technically did move a little clunky, but it felt real,
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I was watching a movie. It was like, okay, look, man, I jumped on that Scarab and I killed that thing, And overall, we didn't see gameplay where, they had cinematics where he was doing that. But I just felt like with Halo 4 in general, like, there wasn't any cool moments like that, You just went through levels and stuff, and if something cool happened, they're like, we did it in cinematic. Yeah. It happened. But you didn't feel like you did it, and it just really wasn't all that, rewarding to me. And just seeing that trailer, instantly, like in 2 seconds, you get the cinematic where he picks you up and he looks at you. I feel like they're going through that. And it just makes it feel like less of an organic experience. Like, stuff like that just pisses me off. That doesn't piss me off. It just makes me unexcited for the game.
Yeah, no. It worked in Call of Duty, but...
Well, it worked in Call of Duty because it was new.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? It kind of catched on. That was its thing. Now, you can't just... Like, it's apples and oranges. You can't just compare the two and do similar stuff. It's just not the same. So
yeah, I hated that. Is there anything else you really didn't like about it? I didn't like how the multiplayer worked.
Yeah. That's the most important.
Yeah, I mean, for this one, they made like a really big push for MLG. And I understand if you do MLG and you're kick-ass as Halo, that's great. But for me, I just didn't like it. For me, when you really focused on making it like ultra competitive, it just feels like, there's no imagination to the game. Like, you're just trying to hit notes. It's just like, okay, the pros have to play here, so the sniper has to spawn here. It just feels like they aren't getting really creative with the maps, you know?
Yeah, no.
It's just based on, it's like, oh, the weapon placement is perfect here and this here. When the other maps, especially Halo 3, they were imaginative and stuff. They probably had some things that were technically unbalanced, but it was fun, like, with the grav lifts and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
They're like in weird places, and it made the map design more interesting. Here, it just feels like so streamlined and generic, and I just don't like it. Man, there's a lot of things not to like about the multiplayer way they done.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this isn't the whole game, but did you like the ADS they added?
Personally, I did not.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, technically, I know they explained it, how the fact that the ADS doesn't actually affect, it's just an added animation, But once again, it just makes it look like more of the crowd. I mean, Halo didn't need an ADS,
Yeah.
What it did was fine. It made it unique. It made it different, For this, once again, it just makes it feel like Call of Duty. I know that's been like a redundant point of the, what are we talking about? But yeah, it just makes it feel like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I also hated the new sight on the battle rifle. I mean, it's a red dot sight. I mean, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I hated that because, I know it's not like, implausible for them to have a red dot sight in that future, but the way the guns were designed in the original Halo games, they weren't designed to look exactly like, military weapons you see nowadays. I mean, like, the assault rifle you see in Halo 1, 2, and 3, that doesn't look like anything we'd use nowadays. In fact, it'd probably be terrible if we actually used it. As well as the battle rifle, too. I mean, like, yeah, I could see using that in Modern Warfare, but it looks different. It doesn't look like an M16 or something like that. And
AK-47.
An AK-47. But when you give it, like, a red dot sight on it, it just makes it feel like, oh, this is a modern military weapon. Yeah. Like I said before, it kind of takes away from the atmosphere that you're, like, kind of in this different world and the weapons look a little different,
Yeah, so...
And it's just like, I just don't like that. It makes it feel 2015 instead of, different world that I'm exploring.
Yeah. So to conclude our thought on Halo 5 Guardians, there's just a lot of things that they just kind of got from a lot of other games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tried to incorporate, whether it was 343 that won it, whether it was the fans that won it.
Oh, the fan. I don't know. I guess there is a lot of fans. I don't think the old fans of Halo would want it in the state it's in now. Maybe the newer fans like it.
I would say.
Yeah, but I totally see your point, I mean, Halo 4, they took in, like, kind of kill streaks from COD, They added a sprint that everyone can use,
Yeah.
And I know a sprint is, like, not a big deal, but Halo played fine when it was clunky,
Yeah.
When you were just hopping around and stuff like that. I mean, maybe some of this is nostalgic, but, when you're, like, running, sprinting, like, clicking the right trigger, left trigger, my bad, in Halo, it just doesn't feel like Halo anymore,
Yeah, so...
It just really bugs me that it's taking stuff from old other games that it really doesn't need. This game in particular seems to have a hard-on for Destiny, though. Like, it's called Halo 5 Guardians. I mean, like, the people who play in Destiny are called Guardians.
Sci-fi and Guardians, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hate that title, by the way. It just sounds like, oh, hey, we're like Destiny. And that's another thing. Like, did you see that multiplayer mode they added?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, where it's just like you play in this open field, and honestly, the field looks like kind of like the first area in Destiny. You know, it's like they're trying to play towards that.
Yeah.
And in the mode, you kill AI opponents and you gain XP to unlock stuff. You know, and I'm like, that sounds like a game I played. You know, it wasn't a game I liked that much. You know. And when they do that, it feels like it doesn't have its original, feel to it anymore.
Yeah.
It just feels like, okay, this is popular, toss it in. Where really, Halo was already popular, you know? You could have just made it exactly like it was in Halo 3, you know? And people would still love it, and people would still play it.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, like, I know some people say you're clouded by nostalgic glasses and stuff, but I played the Master Chief multiplayer. I played all the old Halo multiplayers. And all the old ones are better than Halo 4, you know?
Yeah.
I'd much rather play on Halo 3, Halo 2 maps, even Halo 1 maps, even though some can be exploited terribly.
Yeah.
And the Halo 4 maps, just the way they play, it kind of feels gross, That's one thing I'm kind of glad they did by releasing the Master Chief Collection. We get the Halo 2 multiplayer, intact. They did change a couple of things. At least it feels like they did. Yeah. I didn't play the old one for, years,
Yeah. Same.
Years, but it still has the same general gameplay, and it feels good. It's really fun to play. And with the new graphical uphaul, it looks great, So I feel like, why couldn't it just be that, Why do we need running? I know that sounds stupid. But why do we need ADS? Why do we need running? Why do we need the Spartans to talk to each other? I just hated that,
Yeah.
I mean, like, who cares? I mean, they're on a team. It just, once again, it gives it that military feel. It's just like, I took him out. He's on my 6, And it's just like, that's not what Halo's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And this is another thing I want to touch on. Just lastly, I mean, would Halo still be like this if Bungie was still here? And sadly, I have to say, yeah, this was probably going to be the future of Halo anyway.
Future of games in general.
Just future of games. I mean, I kind of saw this with Reach,
Yeah.
Reach with the campaign kind of had a gruff military feel to it with all the Spartans and stuff, and I absolutely hated that. I couldn't even play the campaign for that game. I thought it was terrible. And once again, they focused a lot on cinematics, but not actually doing. Like, there was no epic moments in that game where you took down a Scarab, like, actually gameplay-wise, You just like, oh, you placed a bomb, the ship explodes. Cool. I mean, it was neat, but, it didn't feel that great.
Yeah.
And also, if you look at their last project, I mean, Destiny, Destiny, for me, kind of feels like it's just trying to hit notes. I'm not going to say soulless, because that's me. I know developers put a lot of time into it. But it's just like, hey, Destiny, they wanted to kind of recreate Halo, by that sort of fantastical setting, But in Destiny, it just feels like they're hitting notes, It wasn't like, a really inspired vision. It's like, oh, we want to make this. We'll just think of something up real quick. We'll have wizards and warlocks. It just comes across as goofy.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's just one point I had to touch on. I feel like, a lot of people hate on 343 for this, but I just feel like Halo, sadly, was going to have to come to this. And I know it's not a big deal. Honestly, I might play it. It might be fun, but I don't think it will be the same. That's generally just the point of this video.
Yeah. But to get the message out, console games has this virus where they're just kind of copying each other, these little incident ideas. That's
probably always happened. A lot of people. I mean, a lot of people copied Halo 1, but now that we're older, we kind of notice it more, and it's just frustrating.
It is frustrating, but I think that's a good discussion.
Yeah, I think that was nice.
Yeah, so just rate, comment. I know a lot of people are going to hate us for this, but we don't really care, so.
That was a dick thing to say. I'll probably get like 60 dislikes.
No,
actually, that's pretty big achievement.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But hey, thanks for watching, though. Thanks for watching.